Alright guys, so this video is very special. It has a lot of learnings for you. The journey over the last 1 month has been very fruitful for me. I've learned a lot. I've grown a community for myself and found some really good people along the way. So last month I traded in options in Indian markets, and for the first time ever I have been profitable myself. Yes, you might be a little bit surprised, but that's the truth. So I wanted to share my journey with you all and the process that I followed to be able to become profitable trader. So the first thing that was very important to me was that I had to stop the cycle of learning and had to, get to the job of actually making money through trading. So that's what I resolved to start and to finish in the year 2024. And fortunately, January has been a good month to me, at least. So what learnings did I get through this month? But before that, let's discuss on the PNL. So I traded in options of Nifty for one whole month. The margin requirements for one lot is merely 5 to 7,000 rupees. And trading through one lot, I have been able to make around roughly 2000 rupees. So that is almost equivalent to 30% gains on capital. It might sound big, but I know with a big capital, the results will not be this big in terms of percentage. So obviously, if you are able to even make 3 or 4% on a big capital, it's a good win situation, right? So for this month, let's discuss what actually happened throughout the whole month. So this was January. The segment is futures and options. The total realized PNL for this month was 3,442 rupees. That means we were almost around possibly 50% mark over the capital. So even though in my account I had 15,000 rupees initially, which I never intended to use, but I just kept them as buffer if needed. But fortunately, we didn't need the buffer anytime soon. So this was the realized PNL. We have paid almost 1,413 rupees over taxes and charges, and surprisingly, one day itself contributed almost 30% to these charges. So that was this day, the final day, January 29th, on which I paid almost 400 rupees as brokerages. So net on net, I have been able to achieve 2030 rupees of net gains in this month. A few people actually on YouTube suggested that if you are able to make even a break-even month trading one lot, it's a big achievement. And me personally, I never imagined that I'll be able to, generate profits out of single lot. But consistency and the rules which I followed got me these results. So I want to share the whole process and the whole system that I followed to be able to do something like this. And I want to remind you that I actually began to learn trade in 2020 during COVID time. So I'm a COVID trader. But I had a big gap in my education and practice, both. So I didn't trade for almost like 1 or 2 years in between. And I started my whole process again in and around, I think, August of 2023. So last August, I began practicing. I shot a last series on trading stocks on my channel. It's available. I did that series in October. However, my results were very bad. My results were not that good. You can check out that series if you want. However, I've kept on learning along this whole journey of 8-9 months almost now. So what I've learned is that you have to first of all believe in yourself. There's a whole presentation that I've prepared for these rules. But first of all, let me again refresh this so that a lot of people might have some doubt on the results. So this is my account, KCS 580. That's what I've been trading for a long time, for the whole January. So again, refreshing one more time. So this is the net realized PNL, and finally January was a profitable month for me. So let's begin with the presentation now. This is very important, guys. I think you should watch the complete video end to end. You'll learn a lot. So trading is not just about strategy. I almost don't talk about strategy in the presentation. It's very fundamental piece in your trading. It is very much needed. Without that, you cannot do anything. But rules go beyond strategy. So make sure you watch the complete video and understand the whole process, which can in fact turn you into a profitable trader. So let's get to the presentation. Alright, guys, now the rules that I'm going to tell you are very important. And believe me, if you don't follow these rules, you're never gonna be profitable. Never ever. Don't even think about it. Or just give up your plan. Whatever dreams you have, just give them up unless you follow these rules. So we proceed to rule number 1, taking it very seriously. Believe me, guys, unless you take this business very, very seriously, you are not going to become profitable. What is required? First of all, you need to change your attitude. I know that everybody, when they come in front of a screen, they start to gamble. They might have their own setups, but they don't wait. Or they keep an open timeline. They don't decide their targets, not as in the targets for the trades, but an overall value that they want to achieve, or a goal that they want to achieve at the end of a week, at the end of month, at the end of year. So the first thing that you have to do is change your attitude. You have to give yourself the chance. You have to believe yourself that you can do it. Secondly, you have to decide on a timeline. Suppose if I pick a $10,000 account, I should have a small goal at least, that by the end of the month I should have at least made $200. That's not a big goal, right? But at least you need to have these kinds of goals so that you are able to measure your progress of how good you have become or how good you need to become. Third point is hold yourself accountable for your actions. So if you find yourself committing a few mistakes that you have been committing continuously for past many months, so you need to punish yourself. How do you do that? You skip a trading session. So either you take it seriously or you skip it altogether. So once you have found yourself committing a mistake during a session, you just give up. You don't trade that session anymore. Fourth rule is don't gamble. If you are into gambling, then you should altogether give up, because this is not a child's play. We are taking a serious business here. You are putting your time, psychology and money at the stakes here. So why you are wasting it? Give yourself fair chances of playing. So don't gamble. And finally, get out of the infinite loop of learning to trade. When you are before your desk, you are actually putting your money on stake. So you're not learning. You have learned a lot. You have learned multiple strategies over a long period of time. But that learning has to somewhere end. Not end as in that, you stop learning altogether. You learn through your journals, you learn through your mistakes. But you take the serious attitude of making money out of this profession, right? So you have to treat it as a business. You have to, when you are giving your time, money and psychology to this business, you have to expect some good results out of it. And to get those good results, you have to stop being an immature. You need to change your attitude. You need to be very serious about it. So you're going to place your trades only when you have a good confidence in it, and not just that, you start to gamble. We'll see what happens next. We'll see whether this turns into a profitable trade or not. No, you must know what you're doing. Next rule, very important. Keep it consistent. To get consistent results, you have to keep everything around you consistent. Your habits, your trading instruments, your strategies, your position size, your trading hours, your daily habits, what time you wake up, what time you prepare your charts, and how long before the market open you are ready. To be in a better position to trade markets, you have to have that kind of consistency developed within your routine and within the parameters of trading, such as the instrument, strategy, position size, trading hours. So if you trade between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., so you stick to that window. Don't go outside that window. Don't experiment. So when you are aiming for a consistent result, don't experiment. That's what the earlier rule also, reflected. So don't keep experimenting. Stick to your rules. Keep the things very, very, very boring. Don't experiment. Keep doing what you do every time. Don't experiment at all. Experiment when you have completed your month and when you have, you are taking a break from trading. So you experiment then. You try out different strategies then. But when you are actually trading, you don't experiment. Third rule, you need an edge. It basically means you need a setup. and a profitable setup. So if you haven't found a setup for yourself yet, you can, discontinue watching this video because it's not going to help you. So to earn profits in trading, you need to have an edge. Now, edge is any setup that has more probability of giving you wins than loses, right? So you win more often and win bigger when that setup or strategy works. You don't need to have multiple setups in the beginning. As a beginner, you can just stick with one single setup. Believe me guys, you can become profitable in one single setup. You don't need anything else. Just one setup is enough. And around the setups, you also need to know when to go big and when to go small and when to avoid trading. So when do you avoid trading? You avoid trading in choppy markets. But when do you go big? When you have seen, after you have taken a lot of trades with a one single strategy, you know and under what market conditions your trade works the best. And so when those times and those conditions appear, you go big. The next rule, a very important one, is that you need to have a plan. So trading becomes very easy when you have a plan. Now, what is the plan? Plan is exactly what you're going to do when the markets open and what you need to look in the charts, which gives you a trigger to execute your setup. So to have a plan, you need to analyze the markets before they open. And once they open, you need to wait a little bit. You need to see whether the market is moving as per your plan. And if the market is moving as per your plan, you wait for your setup. But if the market has gone completely different directions, so if you have a plan for that, you again wait for your setup. But if not, then you just close your terminal and get back to other things. Now, in the beginning, when you're not profitable, I'll suggest that you take only one trade a day. That's right, guys. It's going to be very difficult to stick to one trade a day. But believe me, if you take just one trade a day, be it a loss-making trade or a profit-making trade, you will give it your best shot. So you will avoid overtrading. You will avoid ruining your psychology. So keep it very simple. You are going to take only one trade. Now you need to decide whether you are going to just ruin that trade or you are going to give it your best shot. Next, be flexible. So first of all, a lot of times we get scared seeing very random moves in the market. So once those conditions appear, you don't take trades. You sit on the sidelines, right? But when your setups appear in the right market conditions, that's when you have to be much more careful, because a lot of times FOMO will take over. So you have to be very patient. So if your setup runs without you, then let it be. Let it go. Let it run without you. Doesn't matter. Market will give you another chance. Maybe within next 10 minutes, within next 5 minutes. But you don't jump into trades. You let it go. Instead, you use that trade just to, watch the market and see how that trade plays out. So you can take a lot of learning from that trade by not being in the position. Secondly, you have to adapt according to market conditions. Suppose you have a fixed setup of maybe head and shoulders pattern you trade. So the pattern might not be exactly forming like that you have seen in your back testing. So you have to adapt yourself to market conditions. Markets may not always be the same. So they'll present you with different opportunities at different times. So instead of trading the pattern, you trade the psychology behind those patterns. So once the psychology matches and the setup appears, maybe you can say 70%, 65%, 80%, you execute. You don't have to be completely sure that your setup will perfectly work. You take your chances. If you have the confidence in your setup and the psychology behind that setup is aligning with what you see on the charts, you execute without hesitation. So the rule is not to be rigid with your setups. Be very flexible. Not too much flexible, but be flexible. Don't be rigid with your setups. Next very important point. Even though you may not be earning good profits from your trades, but you damn sure need to cut your losses short. So the trick here is to cut your position fully if your idea upon which you entered into a position has failed. So you don't need to wait for your stop loss to get hit and take the full loss. Cut your position as soon as you realize that the original idea or the original setup that you thought you were going to trade has completely changed its directions, or it's not working as per the plan. You cut it. 10% loss, 50% loss, 30% loss, you cut it. You don't take the full hit. Secondly, if you still have confidence in that trade, and suppose you entered at a price and the price moved upside, suppose you took a buy trade, right? If the price comes back to your entry price, but you still have confidence in that trade, what you can do is you can cut half of your positions at the break even or at your entry price and let the other half run. So this is a tip suggested by Raja Banks. He's a trader, he trades gold. So it was his tip and I liked his tip. So I'm sharing this with you guys. And third point is let your winners run. Now this is the most difficult thing to do. You might be able to cut your losses short, but letting winners run is whole another game. So try making small profits in the beginning, but as you become more confident and as you make more profits, you'll eventually learn how to make your winners big and let your winners run. So this is not the main concern for me. So even for myself, I have been profitable in this challenge which I took for the past month. I've been taking very small profits, but the trick was that my win rate was very high. So that actually allowed me to take small profits and I cut my losses very short. I did not let price or market move me into drawdowns. I cut my positions quickly. So that's how I became profitable. Next rule, journal every trade. Believe me guys, this is one of the most important thing that you need to do as a beginner trader. You need to journal everything. You need to journal every setup you take, every trade you take. Now, how is this journal going to help you? It is most often the case that we as traders commit the same mistakes again and again. And once you maintain a journal, you also maintain your mistakes. You keep a record of your mistakes. And over time, when you analyze your journal, you see it every day at the end of every day or week, you'll realize what mistakes you're committing basically every day. So it will give you a chance to put an end to those mistakes and get one step ahead. Now journals will tell you exactly which trades you need to hold longer, which trades you need to cut shorter, and when and what are the right conditions for you to trade. When are those setups going to appear? So journaling will tell you a lot about markets. Journal everything. Journal how the price moved after you entered, how the price moved before you entered, how was the day opening, how did the day close, what was the daily time frame doing at that time, what was the weekly time frame doing at that time, right? So you have to track everything in your journal, and journal is not just tracking your profits and losses for the day. It's almost everything that you see in the markets, and all those factors that led you to make that decision of entering into that position. So you have to factor in all of those things in your journal. It's an investment for the future. It will help you become a great trader. Next step, aim for green. Aim for a daily green close. That means you aim to close your day in profits. You aim to close your week in profits. You aim to close your month in profits. Suppose you took 2 trades in a day. Now first trade was a big loser, second trade was a small winner. If you have your psychology right, if you see the right setup, go for a third trade maybe. But if you have already achieved a green on your first day, or you have already opened your day with a green trade, do not fade that profits away. Do not turn that into a loss. Once your day is green, you protect what you have earned. You do not take any other trade. You just go home, you close your terminal and get back to other things that you are doing. Similarly, if in a week you are already green, you minimize your risk. If you were taking 2% risk on your account, but once you have achieved a green week, you go 0.25%, you go 1% on risk. But do not let your week turn into a red one once you have achieved a green week. So adjust your trading according to the plan. This is your plan. You have to aim for green every day, every week, every month. Finally, you don't give up. If you're not profitable this month, you will become profitable next month. Just keep following the process. Analyze your progress at the end. Analyze your journals at the end of month, at the end of week. Keep improving your setups. Keep learning and keep improving the process. You will become a profitable trader if you follow all these rules. Alright guys, so that was the whole presentation. A verified PNL link is in the description below if you want to verify. And I have my own trading community on Discord, on Telegram. So if you want to learn beyond these videos and talk directly to me, you can connect with me on Telegram. The link is in the description below. And if you want to trade along with me, you want to trade live with me, you can open an Upstox account through my link, and that will enable you to come live with me one-on-one and improve your overall trading process. With this guys, I end this video and wish you best of luck in your trading journey. Hope you make it big and you make it right. See you next time. Thank you.